Yo, yo, y'all. What's going on, YouTube? It's y'all boy, Captain Smooth. Hey, man, and we're back at it with another motherfucking video, man. In today's video, we are going to talk about the college football 26 gameplay deep dive, man. Now, there's a lot of things to soak in and to talk about. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. But I need you guys to show some love and support and like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. We got more bangers dropping every single week. So show me some love because I'm going to show you guys some love every step of the way. So without further ado, let's get to the motherfucking video, man. Let's go. So the first thing we're going to talk about is dynamic subs. Now, those of you who've played football games in the past, you know that the only way that you were able to make a substitution during a game was when you had your play call screen on the screen. So basically, with dynamic subs, you can be able to make substitutions when you're under center or when you're in shotgun about to hike the ball. You can be able to make a substitution. Now, I guess the only question I have is, are we still able to still make substitutions while we're in the play call screen? That's the one thing that I am curious on. But I do like how with the dynamic subs, how everything is basically filtered to who you want to sub in per personnel. So you have all offense, you have all defense, you can probably do special teams, you can basically filter out whoever or whatever skill position you want in the game as far as defense or offense. So I like that they have included this. I feel like this is a more efficient way to make substitutions, and it's going to make our jobs a lot more easier as users and players. So the next thing we're going to talk about is wear and tear. Now, those of you who played college football last season, or last year, I should say, know that wear and tear was not that great. Now, obviously, it was their first year with the wear and tear system. So obviously, we pretty much knew that they were going to make mistakes, that things weren't going to work the way we would have thought it would have worked. So it seems like on College 26 that they've actually fixed wear and tear. One of the biggest additions to wear and tear was weather impact. So basically, weather is actually going to play a big role with wear and tear. So it seems like what they're doing is that, if you play in the snow and you know how the snow may be a little bit slippery, you might slip and fall. Oh, you might end up rolling an ankle. Wear and tear might be, on your lower extremities and et cetera, et cetera. So it seems like they've done a good job as far as, okay, figuring out how wear and tear can be affected without the tackling. So I think that this is a big addition as well. Now, another addition that EA added to wear and tear was the fact that if you have a dynasty franchise league and you are a commissioner, you have control on the settings that involve wear and tear. So I think this is a really good addition for those who are big on dynasty like myself. You can be able to have normal tackle impact, cut stick impact, hit stick impact, catch tackle impact, and basically you have all your settings default at 50. So you can be able to bump those up, you can be able to bump those down. So I think that's a big addition to wear and tear, being able to control how often your guys are going to be affected by wear and tear is a great, great, great addition. Now, another thing that's involved with wear and tear is a small attention to detail that EA has shown us so far. And one thing I do like that they added that's a very small detail is that when your quarterback is below 60% and he's walking up to the line pre-snap, he's going to showcase that he's hurt by grabbing a certain extremity. So you might see him grab his leg, his lower extremity. You might see him grab his arm, but he's going to showcase that he's injured, that he's hurt as he's walking up to the line of scrimmage pre-snap. And you're going to also not only be able to see it on the ring, on the bottom of, the quarterback, but you're going to be able to see it, with basically how he's moving his body and how he's touching certain extremities. So I think that's a very good addition as well. Now, one thing that EA has also added is they've added 10 more abilities. So now we have even more abilities than we already had in the past. Now, obviously, it's always good to always add more abilities to the game just because of the fact that you add that variety. Now, it seems like EA has added something called the out of body experience. Now, with the out of body experience, you're basically just jumping badges. So basically, if you're at a bronze badge or ability, I should say, you're gonna move up to a silver, you're gonna move up to a gold, you're gonna move to a platinum, you're gonna move to something that's new called Heisman. So I don't know if it's certain, abilities that will be activated or if they just come activated all together from bronze to silver to gold to platinum and Heisman. So that's the question I do have, but it seems like how it's going to work is that if your player is playing extremely well in the game, he's going to bump up, you know, to a higher prestige as far as what abilities he has. So that's very, very, very unique. So if he has like a gold takeoff and he's playing extremely well, he might move up to a platinum takeoff, and then from a platinum takeoff to a Heisman takeoff. So I want to know how good Heisman is and how hard it will be though to get to a Heisman ability as far as in the game, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be tough. But that's something that we're gonna have to find out though. But I love that they added this because now it's not just staying stagnant with a bronze takeoff. You can be able to move up during the game depending on how your player is playing. So not only can you move up, but you can also move down. So if your player is playing bad in the game and he has a platinum quick jump, he can drop down from a platinum quick jump to a silver quick jump. So I like the variety of what can happen in the game and how it can be able to determine how well a player is playing. I think that's very, very unique and different. So it seems like they've added more playbooks and formations, which obviously doesn't come as a shocker. I mean, the more teams you have, the more plays you're going to have, the more formations you're going to have. So them adding playbooks doesn't come as a shocker. I think it's more so about what type of plays they've added. Have they added more motion, et cetera, et cetera. So it'll be interesting to see. Okay, so this is very interesting. So it seems like shorter quarterbacks are going to be at a disadvantage in game. So if you're shorter as a quarterback, you're not going to be able to see over the line. So that is going to affect certain passes and certain throws that you try to make. Now, this is very, very interesting because of the fact that they're kind of implementing real life situations. So I think that this is very, very good, a good upgrade to what they decided to do this year. Now this might even affect people playing with certain teams, like, hey, like he got a short quarterback. I know what's gonna come with that. So I'm gonna try to stay away from it. So I'm just kind of curious to know like how much being short is going to actually affect the quarterback. Now I don't know if it's certain abilities that's going to, counter that, but that will be very interesting to see. So I looked over it again. So this basically only affects quarterbacks who are under center. So obviously, if you're under center and you're undersized and you have a taller offensive lineman, you're not going to be able to see dropping back, which makes sense. But if you're in shotgun, you will be able to see. So I'm a shotgun passer, so I won't really need to ever be under center. So this really won't affect me. So it really only affects players who are under center passing the ball. So that's pretty much what that's about. So it's not that big of a deal. Now, one thing that they also added to the game was physics-based tackling. Now, it seemed like they were using the old system as far as how the tackling system was on college football. So it seemed like they've added what they've added on Madden to college football. So that's actually pretty interesting because there wasn't really a lot of big hits in college football 25. A lot of the tackling was just pretty basic and from what we've seen in past Maddens. So being able to just have more emphasis to like seeing more hit stick style tackles, being able to just see more tackle animations is something that college football definitely needed. So being that they added this physics thing, hopefully it's not as bad as it was with Madden 25. Hopefully that they actually really took the time out of their whole time making this game and actually try to make the physics based tackling legitimate. Now, one thing that I love that college football added was stunts and twists. I think that's something that they were missing. I'm pretty sure Madden also has added the same thing. So being able to see stunts and twists is something that, we actually needed. I mean, it's a real life situation, a real life thing that actually happens in game. So being able to just, press a button and then have certain guys stunt to the ball and twist is a pretty major thing that they brought to college football and Madden, by the way. So apparently, it seems like they've also added block steering. Now, I'm not sure how this works. I guess there's certain buttons that activate this, but this is something that I would have to like actually hold a controller and actually see how it works, because I don't know if it works as you're running the ball or if it's something that you just press and they just activate. So I don't know. This is something that's kind of confusing. I mean, it's letting us know that like, oh, there's certain buttons that activate this, but I'm not sure if it activates before the snap or if it activates as you're running the football. So I don't know how this works, but this is something that definitely will be tested as far as when we touch the game. So this is definitely very interesting though, because it works on both sides of the ball. So I'm just curious to know how this will be maneuvered. So still pretty interesting though. So one thing that College Football 26 added was something called untargeting a defender. So basically how this works is when you were on defense and you're using a linebacker, right? Usually you would bring that linebacker close to the defensive line. And usually when you do that, the offensive line would recognize that guy as a blitzer. So what people would do is that once the ball is hiked, they will peel off and go play coverage while the offensive line still recognizes that defender as a free rusher, which would lead to a free rusher getting to the quarterback on the defensive line. So it seems like in this situation, you can be able to target that defender. Now, within targeting that defender, once you target that defender, the offensive line won't dumb out. So the offensive line will recognize, okay, this guy isn't blitzing. So the fact that we have that type of flexibility to where we can be able to do that is very, very, very good. Then to add to that, I want to just say this is just really a good thing that EA has done, because I feel like in the past they were not really paying attention to certain things like this. So it just lets you know that they're paying attention. So they briefly talked about the zones. Now, in the Madden video, I did talk about how I didn't like how they were allowing us to route stem a deep zone depth wise, because it's a deep zone. Why would you have to like further pull back a deep zone even farther? But I didn't know that you can be able to adjust the safety width. So basically, if you have a deep zone, you can be able to change the width of how you want that deep zone to play. So you can have him play towards the sideline. You can have him play towards the middle of the field. So that's a really, really good addition. I mean, this is really nice. Even with a seam flat, you can be able to, put a seam flat widthwise towards the sideline or, towards the hash. So this is a good addition that they added. It's going to make making adjustments so much more innovative. Like guys like myself who makes a lot of adjustments, stuff like this makes me happy because it saves me time. It saves me the energy to have to do extra adjustments to stop certain stuff. So I love this a lot. Defensively, one thing that I did love that EA added was that you can be able to show blitz with just your linebackers. That was something that was missing in last year's game. But not even last year's game. This is something that's been missing for the entirety of football games. Because when you show blitz, usually everyone shows a blitz. Your corners come down, your safeties come down. Sometimes I want to just have my linebackers come down to just show a mugged style of blitz. I don't need my corners and my safeties to come down. So this is a good addition. This is something that I'm going to be probably using a lot when it comes down to disguising my coverages, because, being able to just show that blitz is going to have your opponent panic. He's going to be flustered, and that's something that I like, So this made my day. Like seeing this was like huge. So I'm glad that they've actually made defense a lot better and actually paid attention to tendencies and what works for disguising coverages. So this is amazing. So that's pretty much all the important stuff. All the important things I really just put all in this video. There's a lot of stuff that they for sure changed in this game, but obviously I don't want to make this video too long. So if you guys enjoyed the video, I need you guys to do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Keep on showing love. I'm going to keep on showing you guys love and drop videos every single week, man. So I need you guys to show me love just like how I'm going to show you guys love. So I wanted to say thank you guys for watching this video, man. More college Madden videos to come, man. We're going to keep building this thing from the ground up. Like I keep on saying. So thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys on the next video, man.